Your ascendant sign or rising sign. So I have another video that you should watch. Why the hell is the rising sign so important? So I'll put the link below. I have a unique take on the rising sign. Some people might think I don't like rising signs. They are the mask you wear. They are the defense mechanism you have to the world. But they are also, interestingly enough, the point at which you enter the earth. This becomes the environment that you're born into. Is it the chicken or the egg? Were you born into this environment and then that became your personality because it was what surrounded you? Or were you that way in a past life and then you come into that particular point in time to this earth because that's what you are? Well, I think it's both. We're born into an environment where this projection of who we wish we were is seen as positive. Our environment, our parents, our family, our culture, our church group, whatever, they want us to be this. They might even think that this is who we are. If your rising sign is the opposite sign of your sun sign, I'm sorry. Because you probably feel like your parents don't really know who you are. You might be 35 years old and they still have no idea who you are. That's kind of painful. If you have the same rising sign as your sun sign, that's awesome. There's an authenticity that comes across with you. You are so used to being true to who you are. That is great. If your rising sign is square to your sun, this is also an uncomfortable position where you probably feel like it's really hard to step into your sun sign. You just don't feel exactly comfortable being your true self. When we're kids, we usually look a lot like our rising sign. As we get older, we start to look more like our sun sign or our moon sign, especially if we start becoming that. You are what you eat. What you are inside starts representing itself to your exterior self. It's important to know what your rising sign is because you might be carrying a bunch of weight from the past that we can then release in this video. Be able to embrace more of who you truly are. The rising sign, it's the movie we're watching of what we think the world is because the environment we were born into said, hey, Cancer ascendant, you are a Cancer. You should act like a Cancer. We're going to reward you for being a Cancer. And the whole world we put around you is also going to see you as a Cancer. So in a way, our rising sign is less about who we really are, and it's more about what we see and project the world as. We act a certain way because this is our strongest foot forward in the world around us. Your ascendant is how you go about getting things. When you're little especially, let's say you're a Cancer ascendant. Your dad is watching TV and you want to watch your movie and you go in there and you give the most cute, adorable, innocent little Cancer big eyes. And of course, nobody can resist. Or you're an Aries ascendant and so you just go in there and you just change the channel. Take that. An ascendant is also how you survive elementary school and your siblings. When we become nervous, when we become uncomfortable, when we feel like we can't be ourselves, when we feel like somebody wants a fake presentation of who we really are, in walks the rising sign. Ta-da! Very useful to have. But to be happier in life and to be more of who you really are, being authentic is what it's all about. So become more like your sun sign, become more like your north node, become more like your moon sign. And don't let anybody force you into, you need to act a certain way to please them, Libra. Now, am I recommending to just lose all the traits of your rising sign and pretend like it doesn't exist? Treat it as something negative? No, of course not. A defense mechanism in nature is very useful. There are going to be situations where your rising sign is going to be very good for you to have. Like in job interview, when someone's trying to treat you poorly, you can use your rising sign as a protection mechanism. All right, so without further ado, your ascendant. Aquarius ascendant. Aquarius ascendants come into the earth feeling like the ugly duckling, the oddball. They feel like they are not the star of the show. It's the greater good over them. And as a child, there's always some greater good. Maybe you had a parent who was a social activist, or maybe you had a parent that was involved with their own drama constantly. So you had to be the bigger person and you had to take care of them. There wasn't any room for you being the star. It was all about the bigger picture. Aquarius ascendant also feels kind of like the ugly duckling because there's just something kind of odd and different about them. And they just don't really know how to be like everybody else. No matter how much they try, they're just no doing it. So hopefully, eventually you just start to think, you know what, being like everyone else, not so great. I'll just be myself. In other positive settings, maybe you had a parent who constantly encouraged you to be different, like the parents who were very atypical and they were doing their own thing and they were just like so wacky that that's what you were born with. That hippie mentality, you know, you were born to think differently. You were raised on a fishing boat or with your dad traveling across America inside of his 18-wheeler. Something about your childhood is very odd, not like everyone else. And you became more aware of other people, and social awareness is big in your life now. You think about others and you think about their way of life. It's not that you're thinking about it just because you want them to like you. You genuinely care about the well-being of other people. When I think of Aquarius Ascendant, I think of the movie About a Boy, because I swear that character is a total Aquarius Ascendant. He's just so quirky, but just so lovable, and there's this unique quality to him, and he's willing to go up in front of everyone at the school and just completely destroy his social image to make his mom happy. That right there is a Aquarius Ascendant. I would also think of Kermit the Frog. It's not easy being green, where you're just kind of a fish out of water. In a negative sense, there's a part of an Aquarius Ascendant that is afraid of social rejection. So they make it inevitable. Like, if I go to this party, I'm gonna be rejected and I'm not gonna fit in anyway. So I might as well wear a banana suit with a 70s tie because, you know, I gotta be myself, right? You almost reject society before it can reject you. Aquarius Ascendants seek out other strange, unique people. They're not really great at bonding and socializing. They're always a little awkward. They'll usually kind of focus more on what they know, topics they're comfortable with, and then hopefully be able to transition into more of an emotional friendship or bond. But it's going to take time. Aquarius Ascendants often push away situations that are going to be emotional because they're just not comfortable with it. In your childhood, you might have had a parent that was just so emotional that you had to detach. Like you felt like, this is my survival. I need to be in kind of a safe, rational bubble from you because you're crazy. Or in a positive sense, Aquarius Ascendants, maybe you had a parent who was autistic. You didn't really learn how to just have fun or how to just talk to people about emotional things. Realizing you're human and that yes, you do want people to like you, that is a true statement. You don't necessarily ever need to fit in, and that's cool. I'm good with that. Accepting the fact that you do want people to like you, that you have emotional needs is an important step, and so you can look to your sun and your moon sign to help with that. All right, guys, hope you like my take on Aquarius Ascendants. Come back for Pisces Ascendant.